welcome to Julia's Kuddelmuddel. My name's Julia and I'm hosting this knitting podcast called Julia's Kuddelmuddel. I've had a podcast for quite a while, but it was in German. I am German and I've started out the podcast just doing it in German to see how it goes there. And now I found that it's actually going quite well, so I wanted to see how it works in English. I've been living in the UK for about 6 years now, so I thought it might be appropriate to have an English and a German podcast because it quite reflects what I am by now and what I stand for. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm really happy you're here and I hope you like it. Just let me know what you think about it really, so I know whether I should continue this or not. On this podcast I'm going to be talking about my knitting. So for example, today I have a couple of finished objects to show you, some works in progress, some yarn that I bought for upcoming projects, as well as a amazing woolswap parcel that I want to show you. And I've also dyed my first yarn, and that was the most fun thing I've done in a while. It was awesome, really enjoyed it. So I'm going to show you the results of that too. Yeah, so just for now basically I'm gonna bit of housekeeping basically. I'm gonna have the two different podcasts, the German and the English one, and everything that I post on Instagram is also going to be in German but also in English, so you should always find an English translation of everything. It's just going to be a bit of both at the same time. But yeah, as I said, plenty of things to show you today, so let's get right in. I have one finished object. I've been knitting on this since May this year. It's been quite a while. It is the Secret Shawl, and I really like Mina Phillips. I like her designs, I like her podcast, and yeah, so this is the finished version of the Secret Shawl. It still needs blocking obviously. I've been knitting on this yet since May, so I first knitted the border, the lace border all around, just from here to here, and then what we did was I picked up stitches, 284 along this line, and then what I really loved about this shawl that you decrease, so you decrease both at the sides and in the middle, so when you knit along basically it just gets shorter and shorter and it's much more fun actually. It took me ages to finish it. Like a week ago it was about down here and I thought I need to finish this because there was another project that I wanted to start, so basically I just got stuck in and knit on this basically monogamously all the time, and now it's finished and I love it. I just need to block it. I'm not quite sure about, I don't really like blocking because I have a tiny flat and like there's not much space to block things. Usually I end up doing it under the dining table because that's the only place in the flat where we don't walk, and I find it difficult to get it the right shape and not like weirdly, you know, out of shape. But yeah, I'll block this at some point this week, and then probably next week I'm going to show it to you in its blocked version, because with the lace edging it's going to be beautiful, I hope. The yarn I used is just some basic sock yarn down here, and for the main part of the shawl I got Old Maiden owned yarns in the colourway True Colours. It's a stunning colourway. I really like it how it turned out. It's a Stellina sparkle base and it's lovely, and I really like it. And just in time for autumn coming, so very handy. But yeah, I said I wanted to finish this as soon as possible because Mina Phillips is having a mystery knit along. I've never done a mystery knit along and I was so excited to finally take part in one. So it's her Road to Rhinebeck shawl, and she says it's with, I think, cables and texturized stitches and no lace, which after this lace experience I'm quite glad. I'm not too much a fan of lace. So I went to Glasgow the other day for an interview. Did I mention that I live in Edinburgh? I live in Edinburgh. Anyways, so I went through to Glasgow for an interview and I felt the interview went quite well, so I found a yarn shop. I was going to treat myself really. It was Queen of Pearls, and if you ever get to Glasgow, here's your stamp, go to Queen of Pearls. It's a beautiful yarn shop. The owner is a really lovely lady, and she was so helpful and just was patient with me because I love running around the yarn shop and just looking at everything and taking my time really, and she was so nice and we had a really lovely chat, and in the end I ended up getting 2 skeins of her Queen of Pearls DK yarn. It's a DK shawl that Mystery Knit Along. It's on her Citadel DK base, which is Superwash British Blue Faced Leicester, and yeah, it gives you 225 metres in the 100 gram skein. Colourway Love Lies Bleeding, and I think it's a very beautiful, rich colourway, berry tone. I couldn't decide whether I should go with this one and white or this one and a mustardy colour. but in the end I just thought white is the safe option really. And I went for this one because I was wearing pink lipstick that day. That kind of matched this. I was like, should go for that. So yeah, it's a very, very lovely bright colourway, and I think it's nice for winter if you have some colourful spots on you. The other thing was for the contrasting colour, I just went for some Vendi Merino yarn, also DK of course, because I found if you buy I need 400 grams of yarn. If you buy all 400 grams in hand dyed wool, it's going to be very expensive. It's going to be around at least £60, and I wasn't really prepared to pay that much for a shawl. So I got the cheaper one as a contrasting colour, and I just got the main one, the colourful one as an indie dyed one, because yeah, while it is beautiful, also I think you have to be a bit sensible with your price and what you buy really. So yeah, that was my compromise, and I really like it. Can't wait. The first glue's been released today, so I can't wait to get stuck in actually and just get started. Yeah, needles that I'm going to be using are my Knit Pro Zing. When I was knitting the Secret Shawl, I had a very short circular needle, which kind of was really annoying because the stitches were just crunched together and it didn't work well. So this time I got a 100cm needle and 4mm. I never worked with Knit Pro Zing before, so curious to see how they work. Apparently they're quite nice. We'll find out. So I think I'm going to cast this on this afternoon if I have time. Then another finished object. I've been speaking about those projects in my German podcast for a while, so that's why you're thrown right in with some finished objects as well, are those slippers. They're from Drops Design. They're called Little Red Riding Slippers, and there were 3 German ladies who have also a podcast. They had a knit-along in August. It was a sock knitting knit-along, and I am a very slow sock knitter, so I decided I'm going to be smart about this, get some chunky wool, do some chunky sock slippers. I was cheating basically, but they still let me enter, so yeah. I really like how they turn out. So you basically first knit the foot, and then you do the sleeve separately and just sew it together in the end. And yeah, what I was a bit annoyed with is the pattern was very confusing. In the end I just made it up as I went along really, because I didn't understand the pattern, no idea. Usually I don't struggle with reading patterns, but that was just very weird. And the other thing was I got New Lanark chunky wool, so 100% new wool in the colourway Cherry. And New Lanark is also kind of a local yarn company. They spin their own wool, they dye it, and it's really nice. Quite like to get local things and try out local brands. Problem is that the pattern called for 3 skeins, and this is what I have left over. So basically I knit 2 feet and 1 sleeve out of 1 ball of yarn, which means I have 1 ball and 3/4 left over. And I don't really like that if patterns are that far off, because it's just annoying. So that pattern is just weird. I like the slippers how they turned out, but the pattern was just not very recommendable. The other thing is the buttons. I got the buttons in Dublin. So, story to this, my boyfriend's Irish, so back in August we went to Germany and Ireland both for a week to visit family, and we went to Dublin and he took me to a yarn shop. It was a bit of a weird yarn shop. I didn't feel very welcome there. It was very odd. Like compared to Queen of Pearls where I went and I just went in there and I felt so welcome and like, you know, really comfortable. There it was a very weird atmosphere and it just, it wasn't very nice. Anyways, so I bought the buttons and quickly left because I felt like I had to buy something, otherwise, maybe it was just me being weird, but somehow it was a bit odd. Anyways, got the buttons in Dublin and my slippers are ready for winter now, so yeah. And I finished them within the knit-along time frame. The other thing that before we went to Germany, I started the slippers. I was like, oh, that's going quite well, I might as well start some real socks for the knit-along. And yeah, I'm still a slow sock knitter. Coincidentally, I won a pattern. I won the chairlift pattern for the chairlift socks by Penny Skooma by Knit by Bit Designs, and I cast those on. I also wanted to try taking knitting on a plane with hand luggage for the first time. I've been flying back and forth between Edinburgh and Germany for like 6 years now. I tried it. So I got the wee higher sharps ones, 9-inch ones, and I really like knitting with them. It was a bit uncomfortable down for the ribbing, but up here now for the foot, it's amazing. It works so well. So initially I wanted to have the grey bottom and then this blue Lang Yarns yaaay superwash wool as the foot. But in Dublin we went also to a different yarn shop, and that was a completely different experience. This is knit in the townhouse in Dublin in Ireland, and I felt very welcome. It was very nice. They let me browse. I could have a look at everything, you know, all that sort of things. And in the end I got this beautiful skein of yarn, because yeah, I was just enjoying myself and I wanted to buy something there. So this is from Townhouse Yarns, their Clarendon sock wool, 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, and it was hand dyed in Ireland by Jenny. So this is knit Townhouse Yarns, and it's in the colourway Myrtle, and it's very fitting for Ireland. It's green, it's a very nice green, it's not too like blue or yellow, it's a very nice subtle mint colour, really like it. So yeah, I just spontaneously decided to change to green instead of blue, and they're now going to be my Ireland socks. The pattern is lovely. Basically it's supposed to look like when you go up the hill in a chairlift and you look down and you see the ski slopes or the traces of the skiers down there. That's what it looks like. And it's a very lovely pattern, but as you can see I'm very slow. Knit about half a foot, I mean, you know, half the leg really, so I need to keep going with that. I quite like knitting socks on the bus or something, and with the small needles it's so easy to take it with me. So yeah, I think I knit the most on the plane back from Germany. I knit about 3 centimetres. I never knit that much usually in a go, so I should knit more on planes. Yeah, probably was the only one on the plane knitting. Oh well. I don't mind knitting in public places, but yeah. So, and then I have another project that I want to start. Yaaay Yarns, you might have heard of them. They are a British yarn company that use basically wool from the UK, where if you knit something, you exactly know which sheep your skein came from in the end. And they have their 12th anniversary limited edition yarn. It's called Brushwork, and it's 80% pure new wool and 20% alpaca. And they also are going to publish some patterns with it, and they were looking for test knitters for the pattern. So if you test knit it, you get the yarn a month early. You have a month for your test knit, and they had some amazing jumpers in there. But seeing my socks, I'm a very slow knitter, so I thought I'm going to look for the smallest thing that I can actually test knit for them, because otherwise I'm never going to get it finished. And it was a hat. It's the pointillist hat. So it's going to be stripes in these 2 colours, and then it has polka dots in this one, and the ribbing and the pom-pom is going to be white. And it's beautiful wool. It's very soft. It's sport weight yarn. And the colourway is, this one is Splush. I wasn't very sure about this bit at first because it's very green yellowish. It's a bit of a lime colourway. But, and I wasn't sure whether I should get it or not. But I got it and I actually love it. It's really nice. It's very, very bright, and I think it goes well with the other 2. So this one is Craquelure, and this one is Vellatura, and this one is Just Wash. So I'm very excited to get stuck into this yarn and start my test knit. I should probably do a swatch first, just because it's a test knit. I want to get it right. And yeah, I love the colours because they are not too, well, they're colours, but they're not too bright. So it's really soft, it's cushy, and it's a beautiful yarn. It's a shame it's only a limited edition, but I'm glad I got my hands on some. It's gorgeous, stunning. I really love it. So yeah, and I'm happy to finally cast something on with Yaaay yarns, because I've been looking at the yarns for ages, but I never had an opportunity to actually knit something with them. So Yaaay yarns it is now. Yeah, this is all for the objects I have on my. I also have a fair owl jumper on my needles, which I'm about 1/3 done, but I'm not going to show you that at the moment because I haven't done anything with it for a while and it's just been sitting on my shelf, so I need to actually do something with it. But yeah, these are my main objects that I had at the moment. And now I'm going to get my woolswap parcel for you to show you, because it's an amazing, amazing woolswap parcel. So see you in a minute. So here I am back with my woolswap parcel. It is from the US, from Heather, and it is amazing. I'm going to be saying amazing, beautiful, stunning quite a lot throughout this next bit, so I'm not sure about that, but it is just awesome. So I took part in a fibre share back in February, I think. No, March, May, spring. And I thought I sent quite a nice parcel to my partner, but then I got my parcel from another partner, and it was just beautiful. I had a hand-dyed skein of yarn in there. There's so much beautiful, amazing stuff, wool, everything. So I felt a bit bad for not sending as much. So this time I thought I'm gonna up my game. I sent to the lovely Heather, I sent 2 skeins of yarn, some fibres to spin, some chocolate, stitch markers, that sort of thing. I thought I was doing actually quite well with my parcel. And then I got hers, and man, I was blown away. It was so beautiful. And like, and you'll see how much stuff there's in there. And it's just so thoughtful and stunning. So basically the theme of the parcel is seaside, because Heather just moved to the seaside recently. And I'm going to show you what I've got in there. So we chatted for a bit on Instagram, and she's actually become like a friend now. It's really nice. That's why I love Fibershare. Fibershare community is amazing. So we chatted about Harry Potter, that we both love Harry Potter. And yeah, she gave me this perfect bag. Don't let the muggles get you down. That is a very good motto, really. So I'm just going to open that. Oops, pop everything into the bag. Unless I'm losing everything here. So she had everything individually wrapped with little sea creature stickers on it, and also with wee notes what it is and where it came from. So first of all, we have a explorer notebook. Notebooks are always handy, and I like the little ones where you can actually fill them up and you're not going to have a little, like, hundreds of pages left. So very handy notebook. I've been actually thinking about using this as kind of a folder thing where I can stick in all my wool tags that I've been using, because I want to keep them, so I keep track of what I've been using with my hand spun and hand dyed yarns. Then she has a couple of items in there from a friend of hers, from Seaside Fibre Art, and that is one talented, I'm assuming it's a woman, I don't know. Seaside Fibre Art is one talented artist, let's put it like that. So these are like little stitch markers in fish form, and they're so cute. I love them. And the turquoise pearls are just exactly my colour, so very pretty. And then she also gave me, because we both love coffee, so she gave me some coffee. I actually didn't get her, I was thinking about getting her some coffee, but in the end I ended up getting her some chocolate with coffee beans in it. Half counts. Anyway, so this is Green Mountain Coffee Vermont Country Blend. Looking forward to testing that. I haven't tested it yet because I wanted to show it to you guys first, so I will be opening this very soon. Then, something that made this entire parcel smell amazing is a bath bubble. I'm not going to unwrap it now because otherwise it's just going to go everywhere, but it smells awesome, and it's really nice if you unwrap a parcel and it actually smells really good. Then we had a wee thingy. I really like having tea with my knitting, so this is just ideal to pop my tea bag down, because I hate getting up and going back to the kitchen and taking my tea bag out and all that, so I can just use that. So thank you. Then we had, oh yeah, I was talking about how wherever I go, because in Germany I grew up in the in the middle of Europe, so there ain't no sea anywhere to be seen. So whenever I go to the seaside, or here in Edinburgh as well, I try to collect shells. So I asked her whether she could maybe collect some shells from her beach for me, and she did. And here we are, some wee shells from her beach, which is lovely. It's really sweet. Especially that she went out and collected them for me. Really like that. Then we have some yarn that she sent me. This is a beautiful skein. It's from Paramount yarns. It's 100% Falkland Corriedale UK spun DK yarn in the shade Sandy Toes, and I love the colour. It's a colour I would have never gone for myself probably, but now that I have it, it's amazing, and I think, yeah, I like it. It's pretty. It's this beautiful green, light petrolish, light blue colour with the sandy brown, and it perfectly fits the seaside theme. It's beautiful, and it's squishy and soft and thick, and I really like thick yarn because you can actually see some progress when you knit. So we have that. Then she gave me a headband, and headbands are the best thing ever, because I live in Edinburgh. It's very windy, so I often end up with a ponytail because you just don't want to get your hair everywhere, and in winter it's windy and cold and you need something on your ears, otherwise you just freeze to death. And headbands are perfect because if you put on a hat and you have a ponytail, you just have this weird thing at the back of your head, and I don't like that. So headband, awesome, and it's apparently the first one that she knit, and she's a talented headband knitter. Keep going, Heather. And oh yeah, then I unpacked this. You might wonder what it is. It is her first ever hand spun yarn. So Heather does spin her own yarn, and she gave me her first hand spun yarn. I couldn't believe it, because this is so special and precious, and she gave it to me. I was completely lost for words when I unpacked it, because that is such a special thing. Like, it must be full of memories for her, because it is the first yarn that she ever hand spun, and she gave it to me. She called it her mermaid wand, which is very fitting, I think. And I will be doing something with this yarn, definitely, because I feel like it has to, and it's going to be something very special. But I couldn't believe that she gave it to me. Oh, very, very pretty, very beautiful. And then I thought, that's already quite a lot of yarn. And I kept unpacking, and there was more yarns. There's 4 more skeins of yarn to come. 2 of them are these ones. These are again by Seaside Fibre Artist, Seaside Fibre Art, sorry. It's hand spun yarn. Again, gorgeous green, bluish wash colourways, and beautiful texturized, thicker and thinner hand spun yarn. It's yeah, it's a bulky weight, 100% merino, and it's so soft. And it's just so beautiful and pretty and soft, and love the colours and the texture and everything. So this is also going to be something very, very special. And then, oh yeah, also some, that's just a thing for Seaside Fibre Art. I'm also going to link to Seaside Fibre Art's shop down there, down below, because I feel like some people might want to check it out. It's amazing. Very, very talented artist. These ones is another very thoughtful part of the parcel. She more stitch markers, and she said that she handpicked the beads, and yeah, all made it so very beautiful. And again, you know, there's so much love and thought behind this whole box. It's just amazing. I'm not sure how I deserve this, but I was so happy when everything can't believe it was like Christmas and Easter the same day, and I just sat there and like unpacked and unpacked, and there was more and more, and then there was this beautiful skein, and you know what it is? It's a Malabrigo skein. I always wanted to try a Malabrigo yarn, because just like everyone, I think their colours are absolutely stunning, and this is no exception to that. Look at this blue, green, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful yarn. It's called arroyo. The word arroyo refers to a brook or stream in Spanish. Like its big brother Rios, this yarn is spun from super soft and washable 100% merino wool. It's a sport weight yarn, so I really like it. The colorway is Indiecita, I would say, yeah. And I always wanted to try Malabrigo, I just never got around to buying any. So now I have my own skein, and I need to think about something to do with it. It's gorgeous. And then, last but definitely not least, this beautiful skein. So Heather also tried dyeing her own yarn. It's her first ice dyed skein of yarn, and it's so pretty. I have no idea how you ice dye yarn, so I need to ask her about that. But it's beautiful, and again, like, I love the white bits shining through, and it's so beautiful. And yeah, like everything else in this parcel, it is just, so I'm gonna put this down. The whole parcel is just so lovely and sweet and thoughtful, and she put so much effort in it and so much love. And so if you're watching this, Heather, thank you so much. I know my parcel was a bit smaller, and I'm gonna make up for it somehow. Don't know how yet, but I will. And yeah, this is just amazing. Thank you so much. You completely blew my mind, and I was just speechless, like grinning like a wee child, sitting there unpacking. It was so much fun, and it was, yeah, I was lost for words. It's amazing. So thank you so much. I also have a fibre share coming up till the end of September, so I will have to think carefully about what I put in there. Have to up my game, definitely. So yeah, thank you so much, Heather. You're the bestest. And yeah, thank you. Speaking of hand-dyed yarn, I'm gonna quickly go and grab some yarn that I dyed myself and show you, because maybe you might be interested in that as well. So here I am again with my hand-dyed yarn. I always wanted to try dyeing yarn. I was never much into spinning. I never tried it. I don't really see I'm not intrigued by it, but I always wanted to dye my own yarn, and it's always a bit expensive to get the starting kit. So my workplace has this like kind of incentive reward scheme. If you do well, you get a voucher, and I got an Amazon voucher, and I was like, this is my opportunity. I'm going to buy the equipment. So I got the enamel pot, I got some dyes, it's from Jacquard, acid dyes in jet black, cherry red, bright yellow and brilliant blue. Amazon actually made a mistake and sent me 3 of the brilliant blues instead of only 1. Didn't complain. I don't think Amazon will care about giving away 2 of those for free. Don't think it's going to hurt them. Anyways, yeah, so I got all that. Got some mixing stuff, gloves, mask, everything. Also got some wool, which is a New Zealand Paul superwash wool. DK weight again, because I don't like, well, I like socks, but I thought DK, I can do hats and shawls from it. So yeah, I watched Hugh Lucko's videos and they were so helpful. She explains everything, because when you like go online and you try to Google it, there's not much coming up really. So I was a bit lost for which kind of acid dye to get, so I just went for this one. And the way I did it, I basically bathed my yarn in citric acid water for about 15 minutes, then had some citric acid and water in a pot, put the yarn in, brought it up to a simmer, put in my dyes, let it cool down, washed it out, and that was it. First one turned out very colourful. I got this kit on Wednesday morning. So yeah, very bright, very colourful. I went a bit overboard with colours, but I suppose because it was the first time I was just like, colours, and popped in as much as I could. Although I really like it. Especially like this area over here with like blue, pink, green, it's everything in there. And then the dark petrol colours, I really like it. So yeah, that went quite well, so I moved on to skein 2. Wanted to try some tonal variegated yarns. Was supposed to be from dark red to yellow. Turned out from black to yellow with some brown in there. Because the black was supposed to be the burgundy with that I mixed with red and black. Turned out I put too much black in, so it turned out black. But the yellow's quite nice, and the red as well, and I also like the brownish red we get over here, so I suppose it's just supposed to be like that. That's it. I like it. Then after 2 skeins, I thought, ooh, I got this. I can do this. I'm a professional now. So I tried. I wanted to have a grey skein, and then on this grey skein have plenty of colourful speckles. The way I did it, I put first the grey dye into a wee bit of black into the water and boiled it. And by the time it came up to the simmer, the wool had absorbed all the grey. So then I put my speckles on. However, the speckles went everywhere, and they didn't stay really speckles. This is what it turned out like. So it is somewhat colourful. It's like, you know, when painters mix all their colours on a board, that's what it reminds me of. And I think in itself it is quite pretty. It's just not what I wanted it to be. But you know, I'm a beginner. I'm a learner. So yeah, that was that. So I dyed those 3 skeins by Wednesday evening. Thursday I still had a day off, so I kept going, and I dyed this skein. This one was supposed to be blue, green with white spots basically. The white spots didn't work out for me. They were only like in 2 places. I put too much dye in again, so I basically took it out and then over dyed it with some light blue. So the light blue over here used to be white, and now it's quite nice. You have just different shades of green, blue, petrol. Worked out quite well. Yeah, again, some of the green turned out very dark, so I need to watch my dark colours. So I thought I'm going to challenge myself and try and make it less dark and go for some light pasty pastel tones. And this one turned out. I think I wanted to go for some candy floss colours a wee bit. And I think it worked quite well. The green is a bit out of place there. I'm not sure. I don't know. Do you guys like the green in here? Because I'm not sure. I'm a fan of the green. But we have some light pink, yellow, red, blue. Again, the red is a bit too bright, but I still need to figure out how much dye to actually use. So that was my 5th skein. So by Thursday night, I had all my 5 hangs of yarn dyed up, and I was left without wool to dye. That was a bit sad. I'm just going to insert you here a wee picture of the yarn hung up in the garden, because then you can see the colours a bit better. But yeah, here they are. Which one do you think is the prettiest? And which one do you like the least? I'm really curious about your opinions, honestly, because I'm just starting out. I'm not really sure what I'm doing it sometimes. So any tips, anything you have to mention about it, I would really appreciate your feedback, just to know what I'm doing. And now I need to figure out what to do with this yarn, because now I have 5 hanks or 5 skeins of DK weight yarn, and I need to do something with it. And that's a problem. I really want to dye up more yarn, but I'm not sure what to do with the yarn. So I need to figure out a way where I can dye up yarn, but also use it, because at the moment, ugh. I was thinking about the Find Your Fade shawl, because that uses up 7 skeins of yarn. So if I make my own Find Your Fade shawl from my own hand-dyed yarn, that would be pretty cool. So maybe I'm going to do that. We'll see. But if you have any DK pattern suggestions for very colourful yarn, send them my way. And also, if you know what I could do with all my yarn, just in general, if I dye up more, give me a shout, because I want to dye more yarn, but also there's no point in dyeing up yarn if I'm not going to be using it. So yeah, help me. I think that was that for today. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch me today blabber on about my knitting and my yarn and my dyeing. Sounds wrong, hand dyeing. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you enjoy it. Just, if you have any questions, I know this might be confusing, because with the move from just being German to being German-English, I might be confusing you guys a bit. Just drop me an email. I also link my email down below, my Instagram. So yeah, if you have any questions, just get in touch. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you, also from where you're going to be watching this, just to see who I'm reaching. So thank you. It's been a pleasure, and I'm going to be back soon. I'll try to make this weekly, 2-weekly thing, just to see how it goes, how much I have to show. So enjoy your weekend or your week, and see you soon. See ya. Bye.